Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me at the market site in Times Square, New York City, we have Pini Althaus. He is the CEO of Rare Earth, USA Rare Earth, and we're going to learn more about what rare earths are and why they're vital to modern technologies and how the U.S. is becoming a supply chain again, and excuse me for the pronunciation, Althaus on your last name. But this is an important time to talk about this because a lot of ownership within rare earths companies are Chinese, and clearly there is some disparity between the U.S. and China now, as well as what's going on with geopolitics and how important rare earths are to modern technologies, particularly aero defense. Give us a high-level overview of exactly what rare earths are. Are they really that rare?
Well, there are 17 rare earths, and they go into most of the applications that we're using today, high-tech applications, defense applications, etc. The US really has no domestic provider of rare earths and is exclusively reliant on China for importing rare earths that go both into defense applications and high-tech manufacturing. And as far as them being rare, they are around, but to have them in sort of the economic quantities, if you will, to be able to mine them economically, that's where they become extremely rare and difficult to find deposits that you can extract them economically.
And where would you use rare earths?
In your cell phones, in your laptops. 50% of all US imports contain rare earths in them. So anything electronic has rare earths, or most things electronic have rare earths in them. Your TV screens, which is actually where the US got started initially in color TV and rare earths. So it's extremely ubiquitous. Electrical vehicles and most, as I said, most technological things that we use today have some sort of rare earth element in them.
All right, now the US supply chain, it has been restored. I mean, there's a major step in developing that critical mineral supply chain in the U.S. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, the processing capabilities have rested predominantly with China, and the U.S. Really hasn't had any what we call downstream processing capabilities. And we were pleased to announce just before the end of the new year, the previous year, that we've opened up the first rare earth processing facility outside of China, and we've opened that up in Colorado. So what we're looking to do is not only have the deposit through the Round Top deposit, which actually has the actual minerals in them, but instead of sending them to China to be processed, actually do all the downstream work and processing in the United States.
All right, let's learn more about Round Top, and we have a couple of slides that we can share as well to get a visual of what it actually is and then some stats behind it. Tell us more about the project in detail.
Yeah, so Round Top is probably one of the most unique mining deposits and certainly one of the most unique rare earth deposits in the world. We have 15 of the 17 rare earths, and unlike many other projects worldwide, we have a very large amount of what we call the heavy rare earths. So if you talk about the 5 permanent magnets, things that go into defense applications, high-tech manufacturing, we have all of those in a significant abundance at Round Top. We have a 130-year mine life. We've got a very robust economic model for that. But it's also got a diversification of other materials like lithium, so 32% of the project is lithium. We're projected to produce 10,000 tonne per year of lithium. Currently the US is producing 5,000, so when we come online we'll be probably the second largest producer in the US of lithium. We have a significant amount of what we call aluminum sulfides, industrial materials there as well, so it's a very uniquely diversified project. We're very fortunate to have existing major infrastructure, so we have roads, water, rail, power, so that saves a lot of cost, a lot of time as well in terms of getting this online. And our operating cost is something that's unique as well. Because of the rhyolite, the type of ore that it is, we can heap leach this, which makes this also different to most other deposits around the world. So our operating costs are among the lowest in the world for any rare earth project.
All right, any environmental concerns around the mine?
Well, we're on state of Texas land, so we'll go through the state of Texas, but we'll do it under federal guidelines. We're not in any sort of wetlands or any sensitive areas. There's not in any indigenous community areas or any areas where there are sort of wildlife concerns, but we go through what we call the typical baseline study, so it's a very straightforward project to permit, which is again another advantage of Round Top.
Will this make us less reliant on Chinese rare earths?
Most definitely. I mean, Round Top has the ability to provide, if you just look at US defense applications, provide US defense with most of its defense requirements or application requirements for the foreseeable future, and also high-tech manufacturing. So currently the US is 100% reliant again on China for that as well. We can provide the materials for a vast amount, both in the electrical vehicle sector and high-tech manufacturing for the foreseeable future.
That has to make US-based companies certainly happy about that. What about the future? What do you see with this?
I mean, people talk about the trade war, and
right.
The trade war has put a magnifying glass on this whole issue, which has been a great thing for the rare earth sector domestically, but it's really not about the trade war. That'll get resolved at some point in time. This is about the what's going to be many decades long technology war. And right now, China has a distinct advantage over the US and over the rest of the world, given that it's got not only the raw materials, but also the downstream processing capabilities. And what we see is now sort of a shift, if you will, in policy from the US government towards sort of getting behind domestic rare earth projects, and it's going to be important both for electrical vehicles and also high-tech manufacturing. And just one of the other things that's important about this project is between the lithium and the rare earths that go into wind turbines, clean energy, etc., about 40 to 50% of our project has a clean or green energy application as well, so that's quite important to us.
Interesting. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining me on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.